Okay, so I have this linear equation here, and there are multiple different ways you could write a linear equation, right? You could get all the variables to one side. You could have the variable on this side and this side, but we're going to talk about specifically just this way of where we have y is equal to some number multiplied by x plus 4 plus a constant. This is called slope-intercept form of linear equations. Why is it called the slope-intercept form? Well, because if we were to look for, let's start with the intercept part of that name. If we were to look for the intercept, the y-intercept for this equation, the point at which x is equal to 0 and y is equal to some value, we could find the y-intercept just by setting x to 0, and this times 0 just would be 0, and we'd be left with 4. And we would say y would be equal to 4. So the y-intercept for this equation is just 4. The y-intercept for this equation would just be 4. That's the intercept part of the slope-intercept form of a linear equation. So let me write it: slope-intercept form. Because whenever we have an equation, a linear equation in this form, the y-intercept will always be this constant that is being added to whatever multiple of x this is. The y-intercept will always be this constant. So the y, for example, the y-intercept in this one is just 4. If I had the equation y is equal to 5x plus 7, the y-intercept for this would just be 7. If I had the equation y is equal to 10x minus 8, the y-intercept for this would be minus 8. So yeah, that's the intercept part of sloped-intercept form of a linear equation. The slope part is that if I were to find, let's say, we get a table, and we were to say x is 0, 3 times 0 is 0, so, and yeah, that's just a y-intercept. 3 times, let's say, 1 is 3, plus 4 is 3 times 4 is 7. And if we have 2, 3 times 2 is 6, plus 4 is 10. And then let's do one more, 3. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 4 is 13. And if we look at the differences between each one, we're taking one step in the x direction. And if we look at the differences between them, the difference between 4 and 7 is 3. And the difference between 7 and 10 is also 3. And the difference between 10 and 13 is also 3. So the slope of this equation is going to be equal to 3, which is this. So the slope part of this slope-intercept form is the number that is multiplying the x. The number that is multiplying the x, or the coefficient for the x coefficient. So that's why it's called slope-intercept form, because it's easy to find the slope and the intercept of the linear equation. If I give you another linear equation, y is equal to negative x plus 2, the intercept will be 2 right here. This would be the intercept. And the slope of this line would be negative 1, because negative 1 times x is just minus, is the same thing as minus x. So the slope of this one would be minus 1. And the same thing if we add y is equal to 2x plus 3. The intercept would be 3. The y-intercept would be 3. And the slope would be 2. And that's why it's called slope-intercept form. So, yeah, that's why it's useful. Stay in school.